Today we are going to learn how to build a cedar garden box for less than $125 on this episode of The Grain Report. For this project we're going to need 17 1x6 Eldorado cedar pickets, one 4x4x8 cedar post, a tape measure, a square, 1 pound of 1 5/8 coated screws. Our brand is Guard Dog. A screw gun, a chop saw, safety goggles and gloves, oil-based stain, and a paintbrush. So it's springtime, everybody. We're about a week away from May. Everyone's starting to work on their yards, getting their house ready for the summer months ahead. And one of the most common projects that are done in the spring and summertime is building a cedar garden box, whether it's for plants or whether you're going to be growing a at-home vegetable garden, things of that nature. And so we decided that we would kind of put together a video of one of the easier ways to do it. There's many different styles of garden boxes. You can do them out of 2x6, you can do them out of 1x, you can do them out of 5/4. There's all these different styles of them. But the one we're going to build today is primarily out of a fence post and cedar fence pickets. The reason why we suggest that you build these garden boxes out of cedar is because cedar has natural resins and tannins in the woods that prevent it from rotting, as well as it's not going to expose your plants, whether you're planting something that you're eating or just flowers, but to any chemicals that are in treated lumber. Also, if you were using framing material, it would rot just because it doesn't have the same natural resins and tannins to kind of uphold against the rotting. So the box we're going to be building today is about 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot long, so it's a pretty good sized box. And we did this entire project with materials from Rocky Mountain for less than $125 out the door. So the first step is we are going to cut our 4x4 for the main supports of the box. Each piece that we're going to cut is going to be 21 inches long. Let's go set these over there. For the next phase, we're going to be framing the box. We will need... Step 2 is we're going to frame the box. We will need 2 24-inch long pieces, and we will need 4 48-inch long pieces. With my pen. Barappa, when you cut that, it literally smells like sassafras, like what you'd cook with. So next we are going to add the top support pieces on the sides, and then we're going to box it in. So if you'll notice throughout the process, we've had lots of these little 2-foot pieces left. The reason for that is because that is how we are going to frame out the bottom of our box, so that way it'll stay together. The reason we don't want to go long ways with fence pickets is because they're not very thick and they're not very rigid. And so if you just did 4 pieces across the bottom, over time what would end up happening is those are going to start to sag out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our excess boards that we have, which and they're all going to be right around that 2 foot. We're going to put them up, we're going to screw them down, and now we're going to have a nice solid firm bottom. Beware, your 1.5/8" screws will poke through this on the other side, but once you fill it up with dirt, you're not going to notice it. Fasten that end, now I'm going to fasten this end, and it's going to keep this nice and tight and square, and then I'll be able to just tap the boards left and right with a hammer to make sure that they're even. Now that we've trimmed up the box, we're going to add 2 more supports to each side. So if you look on the back, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pickets. So we're going to set these right at 3 and 3. It's going to be about a third and a third, and that's just going to help to keep the sides once we put all the dirt in from popping out. All right, so now that the box is built, we are going to stain this. Today, I'm using Pinafin Brazilian rosewood oil. This is usually meant for exotic hardwoods because it'll penetrate it, but I personally like the color to it when it put on just regular cedar. For your application, any one of our Super Deck or Pinafin products or any oil-based stain meant for exterior purposes will work for this. If you wanted to do paint, you could do paint as well too. Just make sure it's meant for exterior purposes, and for paint, you're probably going to end up doing around 3 coats, whereas today I'm only going to need to do maybe 1 to 2 at most.